So.
So what do you think yeah, well, I guess we're going to get into it, but
Yeah.
starting to rain, so I got to put my umbrella up.
Uh-oh.
I could go inside. There we go.
Hey, Melissa.
Hey, Rob, how are you?
I'm well. How about you?
Doing well, thank you.
Good, good. So you get to stay hidden, Melissa, then, huh?
Yes. I'm okay with that.
Oh, come on now. I got to figure out how to get out of this full screen stuff. Ah, there we go. I did it. Hey, Eric.
Yes.
I think Mike Fitzgerald from Fitzy's Run is going to join us.
Okay.
And he just, you saw the email I sent to him?
No, I couldn't find that.
Okay. It's just about, he's trying to figure out his run in October.
Okay.
And his suggestion is he's going to waive the entry fees to the participants. And then he also wants to ask the borough about maybe having local restaurants participate selling food. So he may be on to make that request.
Okay, sure.
So.
Should we move him up ahead on the agenda, you think?
We can. I have him down there under new business, so you know.
Okay.
If he doesn't want to participate in the whole thing, so.
Okay, I'll see how. If we're moving through the agenda pretty quickly, I'll just have him wait. But if we're getting stuck off, maybe. All right, I'll see how it goes.
Okay. How you doing, other Eric?
Hey, how's it going?
Good. Eric, how you doing?
Day by day.
Yeah, right?
Morning, folks.
Morning.
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 There's a Loeb sighting.
Hello.
Michael Fitzgerald. Do you want him?
He's on the phone?
Yeah, I thought you were in that meeting.
Yeah, I'm on the meeting.
He didn't know if that was the conference call that you were on.
Yeah.
Then I got a 4K run.
I sent him the information to get on the meeting.
Hi, everybody.
Hey, Kate.
Anyway, I'll send it again.
Okay.
Hello.
Hey, Kate.
Hey, Eric. Hey, Eric.
Hey.
So, I don't know who else is here. Melissa. Hi, Melissa.
Oh,
How are you feeling?
Hi. Oh, hello.
Did you hurt your back, Kate?
Alrighty.
get started here in a minute, and I think once we call the meeting to order, we'll just go through like a roll call, because just so everyone can see who's on the call. And oh, that's right. There's a list under participants. So there's 12 of us on the call, so that's good.
Some of them are not rec board members, though, just to be clear.
Okay. All right, 11 o'clock, and my name's Eric Esterbrook, Rec Board President. We'll call this meeting to order. First thing we'll do is have a roll call, and I guess Rec Board members, if you can just, as orderly as possible, announce yourselves. So, Eric Esterbrook, I'm here, present.
Eric Donahue, present.
Natalie
Hi.
Loeb, present.
Hi, Sally Donato, present.
Steve Brunner.
Kate Fanning, present. Oh,
That's
sorry.
good.
Kate Fanning, present.
I think that's it right now. I got an email from Sally McAvoy. She'll be a little bit late.
And Randy,
know
not on the
about-
call?
I don't know about Pete Beck or Randy.
Everybody.
Hey, Mike.
Yeah, I hope I can, jump off and back on. I don't want to interfere with your business. I just wanted to run an idea by you that Rob and I briefly talked about.
Sure, Mike, we have you on the agenda, and, we can have you go first, or, you're further down on the agenda, so I guess depends on what your time is like.
Whatever, I'll defer to you guys on that, whatever is easiest for you.
Okay.
Eric, don't you think he could just speak in the public comment section, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll move you up to public comment, Mike. Once we're just taking a roll call now. So
Okay.
And then we'll get you under public comment.
Great, thank you.
Okay, so looks like we had all the rec board members chime in. If anybody from the community like to identify yourselves or say hello or say you're on the call.
Do I need to do so or no?
Nope, I already did. Mike Fitzgerald. Anybody else want to
Sure, this
mention?
is Jody Menon. This is Jody Menon. I'm just here listening in.
Hi, Jody. Welcome.
Hi, this is Michelle Bear, Zoning Codes Enforcement Officer for the borough. I'm just listening as well.
Welcome.
Hi, everybody.
Sally's on.
Hey, Sally.
Hey, Sally.
Hi, Sally.
Okay, so the meeting has been called to order. First thing on the agenda will be public comment. And I know Mike Fitzgerald has something. So Mike, if you want to go ahead, and if there's any other public comment when Mike is done, we'll hear that. So
Great,
go ahead,
thank
Mike.
you. Yeah, I reached out to Rob a couple weeks ago just to run an idea by him. Thinking ahead, first of all, identifying myself for anybody who might not know. I'm involved with Lawrence Foundation, and we do the annual Fitzy's 5K run from the Stonehouse Park in the borough to raise money for our foundation, which benefits kids throughout Berks County with scholarships. We also do some charitable work with families in need. And the 5K run is our primary fundraising vehicle. I was getting ready to send out the packet to our sponsors that we generally send out requesting donations and money, and I'm just really hard pressed to send that out this year, just with whatever, everything that people have been going through. Obviously, a lot of businesses have been impacted, and to put my hand out and say, hey, send some money our way, it's just a really hard lift for me. And then I thought about all the people that participated in the fall and all the people that have lost jobs or seen their income diminished, and was just trying to come up with another way of doing this. And I fully recognize that even in October, there are still question marks. We don't know what our situation will be even then. But I was trying to come up with a way to maybe offer our run as a free registration this year. It's something we've never done before. It typically runs $25 or $30 per registrant. It's a very family-friendly event, but I was thinking this year of maybe waiving that. And I mentioned to Rob, would you be interested in somehow partnering with would the borough be interested in partnering with us somehow in promoting that? Hopefully by the end of October, when this event is held, we'll be on the other side of COVID-19, and maybe this would just be a great opportunity for the community to come together and have a family-friendly event, 5K run. We've had carnival games in the past, things for kids. We've had food. One of the ideas I had, in addition to the free entry, was normally when people are paying to come to this event, we put out a pretty nice spread of food. And I thought maybe this year we could do something different to try to benefit the restaurants in the area that have all suffered a hit. And that would be to let them come to the event as well and set up stands and maybe sell food instead of making it free for people, and just to help put a few dollars in their pockets. So that was something I wanted to, throw out there as possibly something we could do on a joint basis. If not, we're probably going to pursue it on the same general theme that I'm talking about here. But I just wanted to see if the borough was interested in somehow being involved with that event. And I'm open to ideas and suggestions with respect to that. So.
Okay, thank you, Mike. Does anybody have any input or feedback for Mike? And Mike, what's the time again? I mean, this might be something maybe we have to think about and come back with ideas. So what is it? October, he said?
Yeah, it's I believe it's the 25th. It's the last Sunday of October. I think it's the 25th. So we definitely have time on our side. I do have to redo some brochures and media pieces that we put out. Because the brochure was made before all this happened, so it has our standard fees and registration information in there. But it's not too late for me to retool that and just take a different path this year. So
When is your date, Mike, that you would need to know?
Sunday the 25th, I believe. Last Sunday in October.
Okay.
Well, I think what he means is when's the date you would need for the.
Ideally. There's a direct mailing that goes out, I believe it goes out in July, and I have to have 7,000 brochures printed for that. So I need to get that to the printer, I would say, ideally by June 1st, so there's enough time to get them printed and shipped back to me, so they're available for July.
Okay. Yeah, I think, Mike, you've always put on a nice event, and you've always been great, helping with our kids at the playground. So I'd like to see us try to support you somehow. Just maybe have to talk around a few ideas. Be my thought.
Okay.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
Yep.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
if anybody has any thoughts, ideas right now, if not, maybe we can come up with something. As we think about it, we can get some emails together, be my suggestion. If someone has any ideas, the floor is yours.
I would say one idea, depending on what happens with the 4th of July, we have all those community groups that sell food there, and that goes to their fundraiser efforts. And so, if we can, I know we want to help out restaurants and things too, but we might also want to look at our community groups that have either missed out on certain fundraising opportunities and things like that.
Yeah, one thought to consider, if we do something with local restaurants, inviting them out. I know the alcohol policy with parks is typically it's prohibited. I didn't know for something like this event if we would want to or consider waiving that policy where people could get, if we invited, for instance, some of the local Barley Mow or some of those places, and they wanted to, serve alcohol or beer, if that was acceptable or not. Obviously, you tend to get a better turnout when you do that, but I also know it's been prohibited in the past, so I don't know if you want to open the door to that or not, but just something to consider as well. So.
Yeah, Mike, this is Steve Brunner. As much as I'd like to drink a beer in the park myself, I'm not 100% sure that's something that's going to fly. So.
Yeah.
Okay. That's fine.
That's just one person's point of view, though.
Yeah, and Mike, for your information, we did have this come up last year about opening up our policies for that, and we had turned it down. It was rejected.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, I mean, if you want to discuss it at your convenience, and we can move forward as able and just see how it works this year. I mean, it's going to be very different no matter what we do, and there's always the possibility that this event may not even be able to be held if there's a resurgence of the virus in the fall. None of us can predict really where we're going to be at that point, but assuming we can hold the event, just thought it'd be nice to do something a little different, a little more community supportive.
Yeah.
And yeah, Mike, just one question. How what would be your, how would you envision the borough, the rec board of the borough being involved? What would be your thoughts or your vision?
Maybe just helping to promote it by way of I don't know what kind of correspondence, as far as any correspondence you might have with the community on any kind of regular basis. I don't know. I guess borough newsletters or things of that nature. Maybe a link on a website. Possibly through the local media. I mean, if we go ahead with this, I would certainly be contacting the local media to see if they would cover the story. It would be somewhat unique. I mean, I don't know about any run or charitable event that's ever been conducted this way. Say, hey, don't worry about contributing, just come out, build some community spirit, and just let's celebrate having gotten through this pandemic. I would hope that we get some good press for the borough and for us. Some possible signage. I know the sign that goes up on Penn Avenue at Wyomissing Boulevard for various borough events, maybe getting some signage up there regarding that. So, yeah, nothing that I would think would create any expense. I'm sure that's not something you need or want at this point in time. Also, I'm sure boroughs and localities are having their problems with everything that's going on as well.
Okay, fair enough. Sounds reasonable. All right, thanks, Mike. Anybody else? Anything on this topic before we move on? Okay, thanks again, Mike. Any other public comment? Okay, not hearing any. We will look to the minutes from April's meeting. Any additions or corrections to April's minutes? Okay, not hearing any. I'll entertain a motion to accept.
So moved.
Made by Steve, seconded by,
Second,
and who was that?
Sally.
Sally. Thank you. Anyone opposed to that motion? Okay, the motion carries. Next on our agenda is the financial report. And Randy, are you on the call yet?
Doesn't sound like it.
Okay, I believe he sent an email out right before the meeting. So
We did.
let's move. We'll get back. We'll see if he joins in, and so we'll come back to the financial director's report. See if Randy joins us. If not, we'll go get through it ourselves. So that will take us to Rob and the Park and Rec Director report.
Yeah, so I sent out my report. Not much to add. Just been working diligently, trying to follow all the COVID-19 recommendations, guidelines, deadlines, things like that. We are continuing to do work around the facilities, especially at our playgrounds, making sure they're still closed and nobody's doing anything. We've mulched areas. We're obviously mowing grass around the pool still. I did have on there, and if Randy does join, we're looking at ideas for the Memorial Day. How can we honor our veterans or our folks who have made the ultimate sacrifice? We did talk about just going down to the site and doing a Facebook Live event where we videotape maybe a speech or two and actually lay the wreaths all while filming it. And, you know, Tom Mull, the council president, said he'd be more than willing to do that. So we would just have to work out some details for that. We don't want to have a gathering, obviously, for it. You know, maybe even if we can recruit a student from Wyomissing who plays the trumpet to play taps, something like that. But we would like to do something at least in recognition of Memorial Day. Otherwise, we had a great turnout on Earth Day from the local families who socially distanced themselves and helped clean up the creek, helped mulch some of the beds on High Road. It was a really nice thing to see the community come out for that. You know, and then the biggest thing we're dealing with right now is the influx of visitors that are using the parklands and, you know, deciding to paint on trees and set up camps up there. It's been quite a project, but for the most part, everybody's following the rules.
Was it paint? Did they paint the tree or was it chalked? I heard two different things.
It was paint, but I think it was that caulk paint. I actually was the one who went and scrubbed it all off with water and a brush.
Nice.
So our trees look really shiny right now.
And you said there's people
But-
camping up there?
We found a camp. There was a chair, a patio umbrella, a small child's tent, somebody's fireplace tools, and they set up a BMX track with jumps and all kinds of things. Yeah, so we went up
Very
there and
nice.
destroyed that on Friday.
Can't fix it. Okay.
Okay, is that it for your report, Rob?
Yeah.
Okay. Any questions for Rob? Okay, not hearing any. Next on our agenda would be our committee reports. I don't think we have a whole lot of committees, but maybe we touch on the fishing, like what happened with the fishing rodeo, Rob?
Yeah, so Eli Peters had contacted me, and he had some interest with some other residents of kind of funding a trout stocking on their own. So he was in contact with our supplier. I contacted the Pennsylvania Fish and Boat Commission to just inquire about our permit. And they said, as long as we have the permit, we can stock fish. So it's basically going to be not our event. We have no hands on it. I believe they're going to stock the fish this Friday evening, and they're going to spread them out farther than normally, and a lot less fish than normal. But they're funding it all on their own. They're doing it on their own. We basically have nothing to do with it. So, and we're not really advertising it that it's happening.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
Do we have any other committee reports to discuss?
Can I just ask a question, Rob?
Go ahead.
Oh,
Go
sorry.
ahead.
So is it just for community people to fish at will, or is it like for the fall? Are they still thinking about doing the rodeo in the fall?
I don't think so. I think the thought was there's going to be so many activities with, again, everything's up in the air. If schools are back in and sports are happening and things like that, I think they just kind of wanted to just go ahead and go do some fishing this spring. But we can look forward to if we want to do something in the fall, depending on what else is going on.
I was just curious if they had anything particular in mind, or if it was just, okay.
Okay, so no other committee reports. So that will take us to old business with the CDC and the Pennsylvania Department of Health guidelines. Is that the chart you have up now? Is that the stuff you have up now, Rob?
Yeah, that was the first document that I had sent you, kind of a summary of the very long document that the National Park and Rec Association and Pennsylvania Park and Rec Association we're putting out. Then I also sent you the chart just before the meeting that we received just today. I'd hoped to get that on Friday, but we just got it this morning. I think it reads easy, and it does not look good at this time for anything. Hopefully you've all had a chance to look at it, but you know, that's the chart right there. It's basically saying we really can't do anything until we hit a green phase.
Is that
Even
what Randy's
the way I read it, even then we can only do a green phase. Really not much to do with the playgrounds, because I assume when you look at this list, Rob, the playgrounds would be like the jungle gyms.
Well, they do have playgrounds listed under, I think it's there right now. If you look at that top line,
Right.
yeah, that's playground equipment, you know.
Whoa. Where are you talking about? Aquatic splash? Where are you talking about?
Are you looking at the screen, the Zoom screen?
No, I'm not. Sorry. I'm looking
Okay,
at
look,
else. Hold on.
look right there. Playgrounds is on the top.
Okay. I gotta figure out how to get there. Where do I find
Does
it?
that pertain to
Well, yeah,
Randy?
Rob, why don't you just read what it says in green? If you can
Okay,
read that.
sure. So under this guidelines, red and yellow mean playgrounds stay closed. Under green, it says they can open with physical distancing restrictions, informative signage required.
Now, Rob, my question about that is that playgrounds like we envision, or at least I envision playground of kids playing around at the playground? Playing with them?
You know what? I think that might be just equipment. If Melissa, if you
That's
could
jungle,
scroll.
right.
Yeah,
So
Melissa,
further
if you
down,
could
it talks
scroll to where,
about camps.
or yeah, see summer camps.
Yeah.
I think we'd be almost considered a camp. Open for business with all applicable guidelines implemented, a 1-to-10 ratio, and limited to 25 people per active use zone.
And a 1-to-10 ratio is what? 1 adult to 10 kids?
Yeah,
All right. And so we'd be limited to 25 people to use the playground at any one point.
limited. It calls it an active use zone, whatever that means. That might be a court ball game where other kids are out on the grass field, you know, in a different zone. Again, it would be, you know, kind of keeping all these pieces moving.
All right. And then pool. We might as well
Pool is-
talk about
pool-
it, folks, because there's a big elephant in the room. We got to talk about it. So
Yeah, so if you look at their recommendations for pools, everything's closed in red and yellow. And then it says under the green, it says, I'm thinking opening with distances limited to 25 people in an active zone, following the guidelines for water sanitation and cleaning, and informative signage required.
So does that mean, and I might not know, does that mean in the green phase, only 25 people are out in the pool property?
And I think again, it goes by what, I don't know what the definition of an active zone is. I mean, that could be, we run lane lines in the pool, and again, this all relies on us being in green, which we're not
Yeah,
even
I
in the yellow yet.
Yellow.
So there's a
Who are we
lot that
going
needs to
by?
happen before any of this.
Right. Rob, to Randy's question, if the county moves unilaterally to yellow without the governor, do we follow them or do we follow what the governor has?
I
Because
have
our
no
municipality.
idea.
I'm just curious.
My thought,
Maybe Pat can weigh in on that. I don't know.
I would think as rec board, we would have to follow what the borough does. Like, we can't have a renegade rec board crew and borough council saying yes and we're saying no. Right? I mean, that's just my thoughts. But yeah, Pat, maybe you could touch on that question.
It's my understanding, and speaking with the powers to be, that a municipality would still have the option to follow the governor's orders. I think one of the big questions is that if you do not follow the governor's orders, what does that do as far as the liability standpoint? Also, what does that do as far as a funding standpoint? I mean, I could very easily see the state saying, okay, you're not following our guidelines, then your PPE is cut off. Your
Right.
programs are cut off. Your state funding is cut off. So it would really be up to the municipality to follow whatever the state said or whether they're going to go with the county. Keep in mind, even if the county decides they want to play rogue and, you know, go that route, they're still talking about that would be from red phase to yellow phase. And, you know, that's just a matter of interpretation. The things that, and if I could just take this minute to comment a couple of things, the things that I've tried to work on and get information on. First of all, this information is coming out of New York and the CDC regarding the now situation where the 5-year-old has died up in New York City and some other children have died. We don't know exactly what the impact is on this giving other symptoms and other diseases to children. So that's kind of something that we weren't looking at first time, but now it's very much into play. Berks County currently at 3,371 cases. That's up 114. So our numbers are going up. That's not a good thing. There are also, through confidential means, there are 91 cases of COVID-19 in the borough of Wyomissing as we speak. I spoke with the school district today. The school district is keeping all of their facilities, courts, fields, and so forth closed until schools are allowed to reopen by the state. I spoke with our insurance carriers. They are concerned about employment liability issues with bringing on staff. They're also basically seeing through their cooperative places that the lawyers are lining up for legal actions against municipalities and so forth involving nuisance suits where, okay, I went to the playground, now I got COVID-19, now I'm going to sue the borough. So those things are out there. And I think generally just, I don't know how you get around the standpoint of the decon, the cleaning, and so forth. And I think that's why this guideline came out with as strict as it is. There's so many different things that would have to be put in place for us to try any of this. And now the fact that guidelines are out, the fact that we're not wanting to follow those also creates a situation on itself. So I hate to be the one to say this, but from my standpoint, where I'm at, and as from a risk assessment tool, I would basically encourage you to cancel the activities for the summer. That's just me, but I just wanted to put that out there. That's what the borough pays me for, is to give advice. So that's kind of where I'm at. Eric, thanks.
Okay, thanks, Pat. Okay. So maybe I guess we could go round and round discussing what to do when, but it sounds like that's the question at hand is, do we decide to close all activities for the summer, or do we wait to make that decision and see if we can do something if we get to a green phase? That's my take on it. So I don't know if anybody else has a different thought. If so,
How long is the wait? Like, when does all of this start to happen with registration typically?
Well, registrations are usually already open by now.
Right.
For instance, I was speaking with Spring Township. They have a meeting tonight. They're basically saying they're not going to open anything unless it's green. But they gave themselves like a 15-day window for registrations to open before they start camp, because we're not going to know, you know, I would assume a lot of parents might not even send their kids. So the whole staffing issue would have to be figured out. And but registration could open up online, you know. Obviously it's safe. Nobody would be exchanging monies or anything.
I don't think anybody wants to think about opening, obviously, yellow, red.
Yeah.
I hate to be the one to throw water on the fire, to be honest with you, because I just think our kids need a little bit of optimism in this world.
Yeah.
Right. But I think what we could do, if we're allowed to, Rob, is put this chart out on the website.
Yeah.
And let the public see what we're dealing with to make a decision. And I'm not one, and I'm just one person. I'm not one to say I want to cancel everything for the whole summer.
Right.
I think I am one to put out a thing that it will be drastic. If we ever open, and that's a big if, it will be drastically different.
Right.
Maybe you could open the pool, not the playground. maybe that's the way to do it, because I don't know how you would say to kids at a playground, don't go on those the swings and stuff like that and just play other stuff. I don't know how that's almost impossible.
Right.
But I'd hate to say we're closing everything at this point, not knowing what's going to happen. And more than likely, we're probably headed to the way that everything's going to get canceled anyway. That's probably the way it's headed.
Right.
Yeah, I would agree with you. I would agree with you.
I agree.
Yeah,
So-
I agree totally.
So Steve, and rec board members who have kids and you're looking to plan something, when would you like to know when it would be, a decision would be made, I guess?
Well, I mean, obviously we can just say out there publicly, the playground and pool aren't going to be open in the yellow phase period.
Okay.
As long as we're in the yellow phase, we're not going to open up enrollment. This is just me again. We're not going to open up the web to enroll the kid in the camp or to sign up for the pool for the year. We may never get there.
Right.
Our hope would be that we get to the green phase and we can do something. And we got to get some clarification on this, because I'm sitting here looking at locker room, showers, pools, indoor and outdoor pools, and not knowing if that's all the one thing limited to 25 people or just CDC guidelines. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I think ultimately we're going to have to turn around and say, this isn't going to work out. When would the deadline be for, part of me says, even if we're in green, it says no more people, limited 25 everywhere I saw. Is that a fair statement?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I got to believe that means in a best case scenario, we're green July 4th. But we can't have a parade when you only have 25 people allowed in one spot, I would assume.
Yeah.
But that's so hard to keep it to only 25 people in one spot.
It's impossible. That's
Right.
my point. That's my point. So I don't know that the parade's going to happen.
I mean, yeah, I doubt that would be even possible for the parade.
Mhm.
And Steve, I agree with you.
I'm not a kick the can down the road guy, and I'm also not one that's afraid to get yelled at by somebody in the public, because it's going to happen anyway. But at the end of the day, I would just hate to be even if it's a 1 in 100 chance that there is the opportunity for a pool to be open, or maybe playground some way at the pool, to just throw it all away today. Doesn't mean June 4th we can't.
No, I agree with you. I think that making a decision, at least posting this or showing the residents what we're dealing with and not closing it right away, we won't get as much backlash if we make a decision today to just shut down everything for the entire summer.
I agree.
On a side note, Rob, I mean, I have to assume they're going to have to turn the pool on and all that stuff anyway. You can't just close the
Yeah,
pool.
we would definitely need some lead time to, the one thing we don't want to do is try to uncover the pool, take care of it, and then leave it open. It would be such an attractive nuisance to climb the fence and jump in.
Right.
Well,
Right.
I could tell you, and I think the Lobes can tell you too, if you leave that cover on all summer long, you're going to find the bottom of the Pacific Ocean in your pool. It's going to be a kelp ground.
Well, one of the things I'm going to look at is the way we treat our Stonehouse Pond. We can treat the water under the cover for algae.
Okay. All right, that's fine.
But yeah.
How much time does it take to get the pool ready?
Yeah.
It all depends on the amount of manpower. We have to drain it, clean it, wash it, get the lines prepped up, get the filter room ready. I mean, obviously, when we had that emergency last year with the flooding, it took us a good 4 solid days to get everything back up and running.
Okay, so the question still stands. How long does it take to get the pool running? Can we do it in 2 weeks?
Yes, if we had all hands on deck, yeah, easily.
Listen, there's going to be people out there who want the pool closed now.
Yeah.
There's going to be people out there who want us to wait to the last minute to do it. I don't think we're, by this, the way we just got this thing half hour before the meeting.
Yeah.
Our hands are pretty tied.
Right.
I just don't know that we need to go cancel it. Now, the next question is going to be, we tell the kids who are the lifeguards and the playground leaders that probably not going to have anything. We're not going to have any staff. Let them go find other jobs. Good luck with that, because babysitting jobs aren't even available because everybody's home now. Yeah. So I'm one that says let's wait to see if we can get to the green phase by some point in the summer, and if we can, maybe we just open the pool and don't have a playground, we could have a playground at the pool, and maybe Tot Lot would just be in the morning, and the older kids could go in the evening and just use the grass part of the pool.
Hmm.
Then you don't have to worry about Pat's concern of decontaminating everything. And the last thing we're going to do is go against what we're allowed to do. We're not going to fight the battle.
So, yeah, Pat or Rob, is there a financial impact if we make the decision now versus waiting several weeks to see if we get into the green phase? Like, is there any financial thing we should be concerned about?
There's a financial thing for the total program that, based on, the amount of programs that run, is more financially better for the borough. But I mean, those funds are budgeted, so really, I don't think there's a financial, other than the materials that would go in to be put into the pool for opening and then not open it. That's not including the algae stuff, because we can do that through our contract. Rob, do you think of anything from a financial standpoint?
No, not that we would incur, but I will say we will have to make a decision if we do a partial pool opening. What kind of fees do we charge? Do we even charge like a membership, or do we just do it a daily fee, or do we become extremely generous and say to the residents, hey, we know you suffered a long spring and summer, and maybe it's $1 a day. I don't know.
Yeah, that's probably something Borough Council would have to decide too.
Yeah, exactly.
I guess I was looking at, okay, obviously the borough's going to have some financial problems, I'm guessing, with taxes and businesses not generating revenue and stuff. So I didn't know if there was something that's going to say, if we make the decision now, we'll save $300,000 by canceling everything. But if there's no financial impact, I guess I'm leaning.
If I'm not, I don't have the budget.
If you cancel,
Randy White, are you on the phone?
Steve, if you cancel right now, the program cost for this is $197,000. That's total program cost. The total program cost for the summer recreation programs for staff, materials, and so forth is around $197,000.
If we cancel now, if we cancel in 3 weeks from now, it still saves $197,000.
Correct.
I mean, I think we wait.
Yeah, I agree totally.
Listen, I don't know that we wait. I think we put an alert out saying to people, it doesn't look good. I don't know how to word this, but it doesn't look good. Here's what we have to follow as we know as of May 11th, 2020. Plan accordingly that it doesn't look like the playground or the pool may be open, because there's no way to do it at that levels. But I just don't want to be the guy that all of a sudden middle of July comes along and we've gotten to the green and it's phased out and we still have 6 weeks of summer left and it's 100 degrees out and the pool's sitting down there. Doesn't mean we couldn't change our mind, I guess, and open it and just say it's free. I don't know. Beats me, but.
It also would be nice to know what an active zone is, like how big an active zone is. Well, they determine 25 people.
Well, it sounds like, I don't know if this is something we have to vote. I mean, it sounds like for the people that did chime in, everybody seems to be in agreement of holding off, canceling the pool and playground till wait it out another few weeks. Am I wrong? Is there anybody that is against that idea?
No, I agree, but I do think we need to put some sort of a warning up that everyone can see, like Steve said, with either this chart that we have with the red, yellow, and green.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, so what I don't know is this something do we need a motion, a recommendation, or do we just agree to all agree?
I think we got to agree that we're not going to open up registration.
Right.
Yeah.
We're not going to accept any money. And if I read that report correctly, we did have a few people pay somehow, some way already.
Yeah, there was a couple that registered when we opened it up in February.
All right, so we can probably go back and refund them and let them refund.
Yeah, that won't be a problem. It's not many, but I can write up a letter from us and word it tactfully and send it out on an email blast to all the people who are on our MyRec system,
Yep.
just to give them a heads up. Also, I can contact all the staff. What I'd like to know, based on, we say we're going to delay the decision, is when we're going to make a decision. What can I tell them they can look forward to?
Well, here's my thought. If we get into the green phase, we have like, are we allowed to have an emergency rec board meeting, or do we have to notify the public? Like, can we have a last minute meet? Is that, you know what I'm saying, Rob? Does that make sense?
You can schedule an emergency meeting. We just have to advertise it. I think it's 48 hours in advance.
Okay.
The thing I just would remind you too is looking at the green phase, you're still looking at a July 4th situation that's probably not going to be able to occur.
Right.
So how far down the road do you want to kick this?
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at green and not knowing how that works, to be honest with you, but I don't know how you have 25. I don't even know how the pool would open under green, to be honest with you, the way it reads. So that's the clarity I don't have.
So I'll try to get clarity on what a quote unquote active zone is and what that space is.
I mean, can we get something out saying as long as we're in a red and or yellow phase, playgrounds and pools registrations will be closed and the pools will not be open?
Right.
Upon getting more discovery on what the green phase really means, the pool may or may not open. Pool and playgrounds may or may not open in the green phase.
Right. And the thing with the July 4th parade, I do need to.
Yeah, when do you have to notify the fans?
There's a lot of coordination with the groups and people and.
Yeah, I think we should vote on that right now.
I agree.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hold on, let me read what it says then. I got to reread what this says then. Hold on.
Because I just can't imagine you can have that many people, considering the volume of people we get for that parade.
Yeah, and just the whole planning aspect. I mean, if we get to the green phase on July 1st, we can't organize all the bands and the.
Right. Yeah.
So,
I think it's something we
Rob,
have to vote to cancel now.
Rob, just want to make sure I'm reading this right. That would be considered an outdoor entertainment venue, I would assume?
No, if you go all the way to the very bottom of the chart, it says large gatherings, fairs, and concerts.
Okay. It says allow with mass gathering restrictions of less than 100 people. No more than 30 people per activity, specific. Yeah, I don't know how, I mean, based on this governance, I guess based on this thing, there's no way to have a parade.
Yeah, well, you definitely couldn't do the Stonehouse activities.
No.
But, I don't know if these restrictions are per people's private properties.
That's a good point.
The amount of people that sit in their own yards and,
Yeah. Until I saw this chart, I was going to kick it down the road, but I don't know that we can with this chart.
I don't think you'll be able to handle it with the people along the roadway.
Yeah. That and some of the groups might not even want to participate.
Right. I mean, I agree. I think we probably should take a vote today. I agree with Eric.
It may get based upon information we received on May 11th for the reopening guidelines by the Pennsylvania Rec and Park Society.
Yes.
Hey, don't forget, we're just making a recommendation to Borough Council. Borough Council may say we're still having a parade. I highly doubt that will happen, but I would highly doubt that would happen.
Okay, so Steve, you just worded that motion pretty nicely. Do you want to make the motion based on the information, like how you said with the date?
Well, I would say based on the guidance we received on May 11th from the Pennsylvania Recreation and Park Society, the rec board sees no way that the borough could safely run a 4th of July parade and festivities at the Stonehouse.
Do we have a second on that motion?
I'll second it.
Any more discussion? All right. Is anyone opposed to that motion?
I wish I could be.
I know.
I think we all do. Okay, so no one's opposed, so the motion passes unanimously.
Now, is that a recommendation to council to cancel it?
Well, that's a good point. I don't know what the politics of this are. I mean, I assume that
Normally,
this borough
Steve,
council meeting tomorrow. I don't think they're going to have a problem with it. Let's put it that way. Let's worry about it if there is one.
I would route it as a recommendation to council. I think that's what they normally do.
Okay, so that was a recommendation to council to cancel the 4th of July parade. And it was a unanimous decision to do that.
Yep.
Okay.
I think we should schedule a meeting that we should, like, on June 4th, the day the governor announces something. Maybe we should have a meeting June 5th.
Right.
And hey, maybe the decision will be made out of our hands anyway. Maybe maybe everything will get closed by powers above us.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so then back to pool and playground. We'll have an email and like a social media information.
Yep, I'll work on that.
All right, very good. Are we okay to move on from this topic?
I have one thing that is not the pool related. I should have brought it up earlier.
Go ahead,
Did we
Steve.
buy, Rob, did we buy flags already? Rob Lewis.
You're muted.
I'm sorry. Yes, they're working outside, the landscapers. Yes, we already bought the flags.
So I saw Fred, I guess we're talking about this in correspondence, so I'm going to jump ahead, but I saw Fred Ciabatoni's letter. Listen, if we already bought the flags, it's Memorial Day and the borough wants to do something, I think we donate whatever portion of flags we had for Memorial Day to let them put on graves of soldiers.
Yeah, that was part of the context of his email to me, and I spoke to him on the phone. I believe the county is looking for 50,000 flags.
Yeah, we don't have that many. But
No, we have 7,500 for both Memorial Day and 4th of July.
Yeah, well, I'm not in favor of giving them all 7,500. I mean, listen, it's a minor detail budget-wise, but I got a feeling the budget next year is going to be brutal.
Right.
Might want to save some of those flags, but if we can give them 2,500 flags, that next year we don't have to purchase 2,500 or something like that. Maybe we can do that.
You know,
how many do we normally give away on Memorial Day?
It's usually about, I think, 2,000. About.
Okay. 2,000 flags on Memorial Day.
Yeah.
So why don't we donate 2,000 flags on Memorial Day?
It's entirely
Again, I guess this would have to go to Borough Council to do. I don't know.
Yeah. The other idea he had was knowing that how many flags we give out year after year after year. He wanted to set up maybe a collection point, say at the Wyomissing pool, the front gate, where people could donate flags that they may have at their house. And we try to collect them before Memorial Day, and they would take care of them and then put them on the graves of the veterans.
Can't hurt.
You know.
But again,
it all depends on this. It
How do
all
you
depends
sanitize
on.
them?
Yeah, it all depends on this flag making company being able to supply them.
Oh,
it's my understanding.
We don't have the flags yet.
No, we do. We have them.
There was something in the paper the other day that said the flags were made. They're just trying to find a way to transport them. So I don't know what that situation is.
Yeah.
The other idea I had with the flags is we could do it as a thing is I just think it'd be something if there's since there's going to be probably no 4th of July parade is we could line every house along the parade route. We could put a flag in on the 4th of July early in the morning.
Or we could line the islands of Wild Boulevard and Reading
something
Boulevard.
like that, right?
You know.
It's a good idea.
At least it's still festive in a way.
Yeah.
I hate to do the parade thing, but we didn't have a choice. Not reading what this says in green.
Yeah, I agree, Steve.
Okay. Rob, the people that are employed by the playground or that were intended to be employed by the playground and the pool,
Yes.
I assume everybody knows the pool's been, everybody knows that the pool wasn't open as of Memorial Day, so they're not gonna be working then.
Yeah, and we kind of, my
Do we
communication,
want
Go
to
ahead.
send them a letter saying, listen, if you want to go find other employment, go ahead?
yeah, I will definitely communicate with all of them. Let them know that we are not out of the woods yet, but we're hopeful that we can open up, but we realize that they have to, support themselves if need be. And, one of the things I was going to suggest is if they felt comfortable giving out their information for possible babysitting jobs over the summer, if we go to yellow and parents want them to help their kids out, I don't know. But I will definitely let them all know.
We don't even know how many parents would say the kids aren't going to work there because they're scared of the whole thing too. So.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Well, when you word that letter, I would word it that because of, like we talked about, but I think we need to notify the public that there is a pretty good chance that there's a chance the pool will not open. We will do everything we can within the governor's stance, but it's going to depend upon timing, personnel, and interpretation of the rules.
Right. And I can tell you, we will not be alone in this sad decision making.
No. Right.
All the other counties and not, in the Southeast with all their big playground programs, camps, pools, everybody's looking at making decisions this week. So.
I know Schlegel Park's not opening. They're going to take the time for renovation.
Yeah.
Adamstown is not opening. There was a meeting. Did you go to that meeting on last week, Rob? Parks and Rec meeting?
No, I missed that one, actually. I was unavailable.
I got some notes through another board that I'm on, different timeline for delayed openings.
Yeah.
BCSA's board. So.
Right. Have they canceled the swim season yet?
Even in looking at these notes, I sent you the green. I sent you via text the green requirements. Plan A delayed 4 weeks, opening June 15th. Plan B delayed 6 weeks, opening June 29th. Plan C delayed 8 weeks, opening July 13th. No aquatic programs, no pool parties or special events. And when maintenance needs to be done.
Mm-hmm.
So.
All right. I'll try to send that out to everybody.
Doesn't look like one was unofficial from Schlegel Park's person. I can't remember his name.
Matt Lubis.
Yes, Matt Lubis sent it to the president of BCSA, who then shared it with us so we can make decisions too. Right. But doesn't any color doesn't look like swim lessons or swim team are a possibility.
Right.
And, so we're coming up with some creative things. So if and when the pools can open, can we offer camps or clinics with diving and swimming, unique situations,
right?
Very outside the box.
Yeah.
We're also discussing things.
Okay.
Okay. Looks like we have one more item on our agenda, the Make-A-Wish request.
Yeah, so I was contacted by the Make-A-Wish Foundation, who would like to do something for us through Dan Macrina, who's a resident here. He also works for the borough in the public works. He has a daughter who is severely handicapped. And, they had the option of going on one of those fabulous trips to Disney or something like that. But he wanted to do something more meaningful for the borough and the community. So the Make-A-Wish request would be to put in a special piece of equipment at the playground that would be inclusive, maybe a wheelchair swing, something like that. And they are willing to donate $7,500 towards this, and then also seek outside sponsorships or donations, I shouldn't say sponsorship, donations that would offset the additional cost as far as putting it in. You know, if we don't open this summer, our guys will have time to build it, put it in. But it's just something that I wanted you guys to be aware of and maybe vote if we want to accept that donation. It would go in Happy Hollow. So.
I say yes. Anybody, should we take, anybody would like to vote on? Let's vote on this.
Make a motion.
Motion by Eric, seconded by, was that Sally McAvoy?
Yes.
All right, thank you, Sally.
Sure.
Anyone opposed to this motion?
No.
I do have a question. How much is the thing? How much does it cost, Rob?
That I still have to do the background. It would, I just don't know right now what, I have to talk to our playground manufacturer rep. They were also contacted by Make-A-Wish, so they may make partial, like cut it in half cost-wise. But I have to work on those details.
So would there be an expense to the borough other than labor?
That's what I'm hoping. It would just be the labor part of it. But I have to get more information on the whole thing.
So maybe, should we wait to vote then? Should we wait to see what the financial impact is?
I think that would be prudent.
Yeah, if we're gonna have budget issues next year and we got to come up with another $15,000, that might be tough, right?
Right.
Yeah, agreed.
Well, you could vote on it pending that the borough doesn't have to pay for anything.
Okay. Very good. So maybe we can amend the motion to say, you know, that there's no financial impact to the borough other than labor costs.
Yeah.
Do you get that, Melissa?
I got it. Yep, thank you.
Does the maker of the motion and the seconder agree with that?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so we'll call it back to a vote. I guess I think it's easier just to say if anyone's opposed, because it's kind of hard to see who's voting and raising hands and stuff. So is anyone opposed? Not hearing any. So we'll say that's unanimous vote. Okay. Very good. Anything else?
What do we decide about the flags? Are we going to collect flags or not?
Do we have enough Lysol spray to spray them down?
I mean, I think we just donate 2,000 of them and be done with it.
Do you want to donate 2,000 pending they don't get them?
Yes.
Okay.
Pending they need them. Right.
I would happily bring my flags to a drop-off place. It's fine.
So would I, but then you got to worry about who's germs on.
Yep.
Which is crazy.
Well, I would think if we had some drop off and we had like a big, like a cardboard box there or something that people could just throw in there. I don't think we need to worry about decontaminating them if they're going to sit out for a while before they pick them up.
If they're not going to worry about it, if they're going to accept them and pick them up and do all that stuff, I don't care. But
yeah, I'd say that's on them.
Let's see if they need them first of all.
Right. I will. I'll contact Frank after this meeting and let him know what we'd like to do.
Okay, and so all right. Sorry, can we move on from the flags? Because we have to do our financial report. Randy Widener, did you join the call, Randy? Okay, so Randy did not join the call. Rob, is there anything on the financial report that stands out?
Yeah, the only thing down there, I highlighted it in yellow. It looks like we're getting close to going over budget on our general maintenance for the playground. And that's due to the fact that we've had many of the public works staff, due to the fact they have to socially distance themselves from projects. They've been helping us out in our playgrounds and doing work and spreading mulch, and we fixed the batting cages over at the Berkshire Heights playground. So that figure is mostly labor. from public works staff. Just if it looks askew, I guess, being this early in the budget year. It's money that would be spent on public works anyway. It's just now reflective against us right now.
Right. Okay.
But otherwise, everything else is just kind of lots of zeros, and we had one Happy Hollow rental that we had to refund. We're just basically sitting tight on everything.
Well, I think we should refund the swimming fee. Those whoever donated the money for the pool, the $740. Did I see in here? Did I also see in here? We haven't made any decision on the concert in the parks, and the fact that companies did sponsor money, and we may have to reimburse that also.
Yeah, that is one of the things. We do have quite a large pot of donations from Redner's, Tompkins, and a bunch of other banks, that if we don't have the concert, we can either respectfully ask if they would like it back, or if they want to just donate it to the borough.
Okay. When is the first concert park scheduled for?
It was supposed to be May 31st, but that was canceled.
Right.
And
who
then
is
the next,
doesn't matter, but the sponsor, that sponsor should be notified immediately if they want their money back or not.
okay, I will reach out to them.
Could there be an option that they use the sponsor for next summer?
Right.
Like keep those funds for next year?
I think with the way the budget is done through Phyllis, it's a year-to-year budget.
Okay.
So if we leave the money in there, it doesn't roll over per se.
Okay.
We'd start out with a blank slate on January 1st again. So
is there a June concert?
There was a June concert that we have canceled.
Okay.
And then the big concert is July 15th. That's the Reading Pops. And that's the big sponsor Redner's gives us $3,000 for.
Yeah, well.
I think you're still going to be over your limits on people. So
yeah,
even if we're in the green, pretty much the same as a parade, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Did we vote on the concerts then?
There is a possibility of rescheduling that though in August if things change, or September.
Well, do you want to reach out to Redner's to see if they would be willing to still still be a part of it is there any reason we couldn't do it in October?
No, I mean, it gets darker early.
Yeah.
It's a little bit chillier.
Yeah. I'm just, maybe September, I don't know. Well, let's see if we want, because I don't think we're going to have it. I mean, if we're not going to have a parade with 1,000 people lined up, we don't want 500 people sitting outside the Stonehouse either.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that. I don't even know how you'd be able to have them.
You can't.
Yeah.
According to what I'm seeing now, you can't.
And if you think about the Reading Pops, there's a whole lot of band members that sit very close to each other.
Yep.
Right.
And they have to practice, and they might not even be prepared to do a show.
Okay. Well, do we want to cancel it? Or do you want to see if we can look to postpone it, but we're not going to do it July 15th?
Yeah, I would look to postpone it. I know they would probably, I actually got an email. They were thinking about, I guess there's ideas being floated out there about doing drive-in concerts where the band sets up in a big parking lot and people have to stay in their cars, or tailgate kind of separately. But again, that's a new logistical thing to figure out where to do it and all that.
I assume we have to vote on that to at least to look. We're not going to have it on the 15th as is, but try to reschedule.
We would vote to cancel the first two concerts and postpone the July 15th concert. Is that right?
I guess.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, someone want to make that motion?
I'll make the motion.
Made by Eric Donahue, seconded by Kate Fanning. Anyone opposed to that? Okay. Motion
All right,
carried.
I will notify the sponsors and the bands.
Thank you.
Anything else on the financial report? Okay, motion to accept. Made by
I'll make a motion.
Eric
Second.
Donahue, seconded by Kate.
Thanks, Keith.
Anyone opposed to the financial report? All right, motion carries. All right, I guess that takes us to our next rec board meeting, and I heard something earlier, if the governor is gonna announce something June 4th, should we have a meeting close to that date? I have to check the calendar, see what, like the 5th or 6th.
Yeah, no later than June. I mean, he'll announce something. They will announce something no later than June 4th about yellow or green.
Okay, June 4th is a Thursday. Do we look for Monday, the 8th at 11 a.m. like today?
Sure.
Yeah, that
sound
works.
good? Sound good,
And we may
Deborah?
have to have an emergency meeting. If he says we're yellow for another 3 weeks after that, then we just vote to.
I can meet Friday the 5th. We could do that if we have to.
Friday
Yeah,
the 5th might be earlier in the morning.
Yeah, I'm booked till 2 o'clock on Friday.
Okay, then it would have to be Monday. And
So
hey,
Monday.
we may be able to make a decision before then anyway, when
Right.
we get some
I
indication.
mean, we can do 7 p.m. like a normal meeting if we need to, right?
Well, let's have the meeting for Monday the 8th, and if any information comes out earlier, we'll announce a 48 hour. We'll give everyone a 48-hour notice and have an emergency meeting. Sound good to everybody?
Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
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 Okay. Well,
Thanks,
that's
Eric.
it.
Yeah. Thanks.
Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Is that made by Eric Donahue? Seconded by Steve.
Sure.
Anyone opposed? Okay. All right, everybody. See you next time.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
See you.
Thank you, Rob.
Thanks, everyone.
Take care.
Bye,
Bye,
everyone.
Carlos.